We went to a therapist. Why come on here and lie and say we haven't slept together since 2022? Why come on here and make it seem like that's true? We never had an agreement. Oh, you be with who you be with and I be with. We never had an agreement. All we had was you lying saying that you're not with him. Why would you deal with him? That's all we had. And when I found out the truth that you were with him, you said, let's go to therapy. And I agreed. Then we made an agreement with the therapist. You violated the agreement again. So when I caught him, I knocked him out. Wherever I would have saw him at, I would have knocked him out. I paid every bill in that household. I did nothing but buy you gifts. It's photos and everything of it. It's all on my page. Never trust a celebrity who erased their Instagram. They hiding from something. It's still there. Me buying her gifts. All that materialistic. If you notice, her entire thing was about materialism. Just fabricating. She just recently told me she don't got no money. So what you talking this money?
The love story of Remy Ma and Papoose has always been more than just another hip-hop relationship. It was the kind of story that fans told over and over, almost like a legend, because it gave them hope that love could still be real in an industry filled with betrayal, temptation, and heartbreak. When Remy was locked away, many thought her career was finished and her personal life would crumble under the weight of separation. But then came Papoose, a man who seemed to defy every stereotype about rappers and loyalty. He showed up at prison visits, he spoke her name proudly in interviews, and he carried himself as if his only mission was to prove that his love for her would never fade. In an era where most relationships barely lasted a few months, their bond was a reminder that some promises still meant something. Fans didn't just admire them, they believed in them. Papoose became almost mythical during those years when Remy was gone. He wasn't dropping hit after hit like other rappers, but his consistency was something no chart could measure. Every time he stood outside those prison walls waiting for Remy, people saw not just a husband but a soldier. His devotion turned him into the blueprint for loyalty, the kind of partner people pointed to when they wanted to explain what real commitment looked like. Social media lit up with posts praising him as the last loyal man in hip-hop. And even people outside the culture started to notice. For women, he was proof that good men still existed. For men, he was an example of what it meant to ride for someone through the darkest storms. When Remy finally came home, their reunion felt bigger than music. It was bigger than fame. It was like the happy ending to a movie that everyone had been waiting for. The pictures of them together again weren't just posts on a timeline. They were moments of cultural significance. They stood side by side, smiling, holding hands, and reminding the world that their love had not only survived, but had come back stronger. Their marriage became a symbol, a shining example in hip-hop where scandals, cheating, and messy breakups usually dominated the headlines. Every time people looked at them, they saw proof that love could endure pain, that separation didn't have to mean the end, and that real loyalty still had a place in this world. Fans often said that Remy and Papoose weren't just a couple, they were a movement. They weren't just two artists who happened to fall in love. They became the blueprint for resilience and partnership. While other celebrity relationships seemed built on convenience or clout, theirs looked built on respect, sacrifice, and real affection. They supported each other's careers, lifted each other up in interviews, and never missed a chance to show the world that they were united. It wasn't just about romance. It was about survival, about building a life together when the odds said they shouldn't. And because of that, their story touched people who weren't even fans of their music. It reached anyone who believed in the power of love to overcome. The emotional pull of their bond was undeniable. Whenever Papoose spoke about Remy, there was pride in his voice, like he knew he was carrying something rare. Whenever Remy talked about Papoose, there was gratitude in her words, as if she understood that his loyalty had saved her in more ways than one. Together, they created a picture of love that was raw, imperfect, but unshakable. And for fans, that mattered more than flawless Instagram moments or flashy public displays. What people saw was two individuals who had been through hell, and still chose each other every single day. That's why their marriage wasn't just admired. It was cherished, protected, and celebrated by everyone watching. The first signs of trouble didn't arrive like a loud explosion. They came quietly, almost like whispers carried through the cracks of social media. At first, it was nothing more than small rumors, Posts that hinted at something strange, something unsettling, something tied to Papoose and a name people never expected to see linked to him. That name was Claressa Shields, the undefeated boxing champion who had her own reputation for power and dominance. The idea that her name could appear in the same sentence as Papoose SECRET immediately set off alarm bells. Fans didn't know what to believe. Was it real? Was it gossip? Or was it just another attempt to tear down one of the most respected men in hip-hop? But the whispers kept growing, and the silence around them made everything feel heavier. What started as private chatter quickly turned into a wildfire once social media got hold of it. Twitter threads popped up with bold claims, Instagram pages posted receipts, and YouTube channels dissected every word, every image, every possible clue that could connect Papoose to something he had never been accused of before. The shift was rapid. Suddenly, it wasn't just gossip hidden in corners. It was a full-blown storm for everyone to see. People who once praised him for being untouchable now questioned whether he had been hiding a double life. The weight of those questions wasn't just about loyalty, it was about trust. If the man who symbolized devotion could be exposed, then maybe no one was safe. And in the middle of that storm was Remy Ma, blindsided by rumors she never saw coming. For Remy, the emotional impact of hearing her husband's name tied to another woman was crushing. This wasn't some stranger off the street. This was Claressa Shields, a name that carried its own power, fame, and influence. The thought that Papoose could be connected to her in any secret way felt like a knife twisting deeper, because it wasn't just about a fling or a casual betrayal. This was about respect, about dignity, about the one thing Remy had always believed she could count on. People close to her said she tried to stay strong at first, brushing off the whispers, but as the evidence piled up, so did the fear. Each new post, each new rumor, each new headline felt like a fresh wave hitting her when she was already struggling to stay above water. What made this secret so devastating wasn't only the possibility of infidelity. It was the way it threatened to shatter the very foundation they had built together. Papoose's entire identity in the public eye was tied to loyalty, to being the husband who stood firm when the world told him to give up. If this secret proved true, it wasn't just Remy's heart at risk. It was their entire legacy as a couple. The image they had built over years, the admiration they had earned, the story they had told the world. It could all collapse in an instant. And that was the part that made people's voices rise louder. This wasn't just gossip anymore. It was something that could destroy the strongest love story hip-hop had ever celebrated.
You walk around with thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of jewelry that I bought every single day. You talking this jewelry talk. First and foremost, I have a cash business. So there's numerous times where I cashed you out and you went and bought things. With my money. With my money. You want to talk about property? We bought this house together. We bought it together. I wrote 90% of the music since I've been with her. And if you come around me and you type a keyword from any one of her verses, it pops up in my phone with the date that I wrote it. I wrote one of your biggest records, man. One of your biggest hits. So you want to downplay me as an artist when I wrote one of your biggest hits. That's so sad. Look at the comments. They know what I wrote. I wrote tons of her music. 90% of her music, I wrote it since I've been around her. I wrote probably like 3 songs on her first album. If I listen to it, I'll tell you exactly what I wrote. And when you listen to it, y'all know my pen. I never wanted a penny. I never wanted one dime. All of the music I wrote for her, I never wanted one penny. I never put my name on a credit. I